Hey friends, I'm speaking to you now as a fellow lover of grace, as someone who's on the journey wanting to make grace, God, Spirit, your relationship to the divine, an intimate part of your life. And maybe that feels like it already is that for you, or maybe you're in transition, or, it's always a journey, right? We're always growing in that relationship. But like you, I share that as a primary desire for my life. And something struck me many years ago, and I say this because I want to share a tool with you that I use. But something struck me many years ago when I was trying to make, my daily meditation practice part of my day. I'd sketch it in, 20 minutes here, or kind of make my time for God, my time for grace. And I don't know if I heard it or how it came to me, but and I realized, it's the relationship with grace isn't one thing on the to-do list. It is the to-do list. It's everything on the to-do list. Like once we open to the reality of wanting to turn towards that flow of grace and participate in it and say yes to it and flow in that and receive that and live in that love and give that love, it really underpins everything else. So then the list, that is the list, and it actually becomes the paper on which the list is written. And my impulse to write the list, and my impulse to share this with you. And I started to see, as maybe you do, that our relationship with grace permeates everything. It will never work as long as it's kind of one thing among many. Well, I go to the gym, I will answer my emails, I will say hello to Grace. Grace wants all of us. I mean, in our totality. And that's a beautiful thing, right? So, but also a challenging thing. So the tool that's kind of worked for me over the years that I've developed is something I'll call connecting the day to grace. So if grace is the list and what's on my to-do list and how I'm showing up for it, then I started this process of sketching out my day. I make a to-do list, the things the events that I'm looking forward to, the tasks, the conversations, whatever those things are in my day, right? And so I have them in one column, and then the question I ask, I find a very sacred question, is what does this have to do with grace? This thing, whatever the thing is, and that's not I don't ask that in a skeptical or sarcastic way. It's really with the implication that grace is about everything, and everything can be about grace. So if I'm trying to live a life of grace and specifically love, then every task becomes a question to find where love is in that. Where is the presence of grace in that? How am I furthering that? And that's everything. So I give you some examples, right? So I go to the gym, right? And this is today. I go to the gym and I ask myself, what does this have to do with grace? Well, it's self-care for me. It's reminding me of the goodness of my body and my life and affirming that. And yeah, can I find grace in that? Yes. Yes. Is that a grace-filled thing for me? Yeah. I have a conversation today with someone I know it's going to be a challenging conversation. It's coming up and it's going to be a challenging conversation. And I asked myself, okay, what does this have to do with grace? And what I came up with was this conversation is going to require of me a balance of truth and compassion. Because it's going to challenge me to be compassionate and caring and loving without losing myself, right? So to communicate clearly but lovingly, to find that balance. That's how grace is in this conversation for me. And it's also a little fear I have going into this conversation. I realize that grace is saying to me, Lee, trust your own goodness. It's okay. It's okay. Find your intention to be loving and clear and trust that you're good. Because boy, conversations with people who might be upset with me really challenge my sense of goodness. I had a check-in call with someone earlier today, and it's a work day too, so lots of emails and meetings. And I say, okay, what does that have to do with grace? Well, it helps core thrive. These meetings and emails and things that I do that have to do with core help core thrive. And I trust and seek that that's the work of grace in the world. The work I do through core, I want it to distribute grace in the world. Yeah. So these are just a few examples. And the beautiful thing about this, I'm just giving you a quick overview here, but the beautiful thing is we can ask yourself that question: what does this have to do with grace? Before the thing, during the thing, or after the thing? So there's kind of a morning preparation in this perspective. It's a question I can ask during the day with grace and discernment, and it's an evening reflection to look back on and say, okay, where was grace in this today? So it's a little bit of that examine prayer in the evening, but a morning expectation, looking for grace in all of these things. It's like connecting the golden thread from that day's dedication to grace. This day, this only day that I have, this day's dedication to grace, I connect the golden thread to all of these things, right? And finding the action of grace and anticipating the action of grace and my part in it, and discovering what I discover, and how I said yes, and are there places to improve? And so this is a beautiful process that it's much more detailed than what I'm sharing here, and I have a template for it, and I would love to share it with you. And this is something I'll be sharing in the coaching program, Your One Sacred Day. And so if this speaks to you, this idea of connecting to grace, please join us for the program, because this is a version of this is what we'll do with some other moving parts that are really cool, to help us find the flow of grace and to dedicate each day to grace fully and completely, so that my life is a participation in grace. And what could be more important than that? Day to day to day. So if that speaks to you, please check out Your One Sacred Day, or let's have a conversation about it. We'd love to have you.